Congress has passed a bill that would prevent a partial government shutdown. It now heads to President Biden's desk. CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins us now. Nikole, great to see you. How did this get through both the House and the Senate?
Well, it is a bit of a miracle, Bob. I mean, look, there was a lot of angst at the beginning of this week and even the beginning of this month as to whether or not Congress would be able to avert a shutdown. But we really saw a significant breakthrough first when we saw congressional leaders reach that agreement over top-line spending that guides the overall appropriations process a couple of weeks ago. And then at the beginning of this week, of course, we saw that agreement between Speaker Johnson and Leader Schumer and the other congressional leaders to move forward with, again, keeping this laddered or staggered approach to extend government funding to March 1st and March 8th, basically sliding that timetable because, as you know, government funding was due to run out at the end of this week, January 19th, and then again on February 2nd for other federal agencies. So we're basically just sliding the scale for about a month to 6 weeks. And the hope is that, lawmakers in both chambers can get these appropriations bills that they've been working on for many months now, get those over the finish line so that they don't have to do another CR in the future.
It wasn't unanimous, so who were the strongest objectors?
Yeah, well, really, a lot of this was coming from the House Freedom Caucus, at least over on the House side. I mean, we saw that this CR passed overwhelmingly, but interestingly, among Republicans, they were nearly split right down the middle. I believe it was 107 to 106 in terms of those in favor and those opposing. And we did see this last-minute effort on the part of some House Freedom Caucus members who tried to get Speaker Johnson to amend this CR by including a border provision, a border amendment to it. As you know, that continues to be a big wedge issue with respect to this national security supplemental, which is separate in terms of dealing with a lot of foreign aid assistance. That's why congressional leaders were at the White House earlier this week. But again, Republicans have made clear that they really want to see some action on the border. So there was this late push to try to get that border amendment attached. In the end, Speaker Johnson didn't acquiesce, and so they did just vote on a clean up or down vote. But most of those opposing being the ones who didn't really support the Speaker moving forward with this CR.
Speaking of the Speaker, Speaker Johnson, what's the status of his job, especially as some House Republicans voice their frustration about how he's handled all of this?
Well, he is facing increased threats from members who are considering invoking this motion to vacate. Most recently, Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia suggested that she may invoke that procedural tool, which is the same tool that we saw was used to oust former Speaker Kevin McCarthy last fall. She says that she's willing to do that if the Speaker ultimately ends up moving forward with Ukraine aid, which again is tied into this national security supplemental that the White House really wants Congress to approve right away. Of course, it includes funding for Israel, humanitarian assistance for Gaza, aid to the Indo-Pacific, and some border funding. But as you know, Bob, there have been a number of starts and stops as far as those border negotiations are concerned. And so, the hope is that with this White House meeting this week, it could move the ball forward. But ultimately, if it does move forward again, that could potentially jeopardize Speaker Johnson's job. He has made clear that he's not really concerned with those threats right now, that he has a job to do. And at the moment, he seems to be playing down those threats.
And Nikole, very quickly, any new reporting on the foreign aid negotiations?
Well, again, following that White House meeting on Wednesday, it appears that there is some momentum to move forward with this supplemental package. Leader McConnell indicated the Senate could vote on this as soon as next week. And Leader Schumer also said that he believes the negotiators are extremely close on a deal. They're just trying to iron out a few more differences. So whether or not that package comes to the floor again remains to be seen if it happens next week, but that certainly is the hope among some lawmakers. The bigger question is when and if it does, what will happen to it in the House?
Nikole Killion on top of everything on Capitol Hill. We really appreciate your reporting.